The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report 5.
Hit my hand. I almost nailed it.
Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero, and we're talking about some big news that broke this past Monday night that was then attempted to be corrected by World Wrestling Entertainment, and that is the news of the shutting down of Florida Championship Wrestling, the Tampa-based wrestling organization that has served as the farm camp for WWE and the developmental territory for WWE for a number of years. News broke on Monday that it was going to be shutting down. Now, this became as news to a lot of people in FCW as well, which then caused WWE to enter damage control. And that damage control was Triple H on WWE.com saying there are absolutely no plans to shut down FCW. However, we will be relocating our developmental program, and if anything else, we will be expanding it. Now, you can get to the inertia of, well, it's Florida Championship Wrestling, and have Florida Championship Wrestling in Connecticut, blah, 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 blah. But here's what they do with this developmental territory. Steve Kern, I believe it is, runs it. JR goes down, a lot of the other agents go down, Triple H goes down. This is flying between Stamford and Tampa to go take a look at your talents. How much better would it be to have those talents in your region down the road or what have you, so that you can better evaluate them, better coach them, better work with them, and better prepare them for the big league, if you will. So that's where we are with what has happened since Monday's surprise announcement, if you will, or surprise rumors that came out. Where do you think we're going to end up, David Hero, and what impact might this have on WWE?
Well, it's amazing because I know Vinnie Mac has not been pleased with the way some of the younger stars have been developed when they've been brought up. They haven't been ready. There's been quite a few guys. Ty Bailey gets fired, released a couple weeks ago.
And he was the
guy in charge of hiring and finding the new developmental guys. And then there's been some rumblings that somebody else has been brought back into developmental.
Secret.
The Red Rooster, Terry Taylor, coming.
You just said that?
I just did say that. Has been brought back in to get developmental back on track. It's amazing. This guy has gone from.
Why you got to call him the Red Rooster?
So that's what people will know him as. From the E to WCW, WCW back to the E to TNA, now back to the E again. Obviously, he's good at what he does, and he's going to get things turned around. The problem in Florida is that those guys could do whatever they wanted. Yes, they have Dusty Rhodes and Billy Kidman and Norman Smiley down there and Steve Kern teaching. But now when they're going to be in the backyard of Vinnie Mac, Vince McMahon, and Triple H that can just pop in whenever they want to check on it, this is now going to be run more like a company than just a big warehouse with guys with crash mats in Tampa, Florida.
Power plant? Is that a better or worse thing than what they are? Is it better to be in a corporate environment and structure?
They need the guidance to go forward to help create these younger stars. Really, only two guys have come out of FCW, Sheamus and Wade Barrett. And Wade Barrett really got his start at OVW in Louisville. So,
whereas you've got a Cena and, wasn't it a Batista to a degree?
Cena,
Cody
Batista,
Rhodes came out of OVW.
Orton, The Miz, a bunch of those guys. CM Punk came out of OVW.
Let's not forget what WWE did to OVW. Shut that down, or at least ended their affiliation and then went down to FCW.
Johnny Ace, that's when Jim Ross left and Johnny Ace took his spot. Johnny Ace wanted his own developmental and put everything in Tampa, Florida. Good old boy network down there. All of his pals live down there. It's easier for travel and whatnot. FCW has been a failure, as far as I'm concerned. Yes.
Really?
The guys that they've brought up, I'm not saying they're not talented, but they just don't have the connection with the fans that they were hoping for. You can't name anybody. I mean, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, the Usos, Del Rio, Evan Bourne. There's been a bunch of guys brought up, but they haven't hit their peak yet. They haven't hit their stride.
That's FCW's fault?
Yes, because that's the guys that take them to promo class, that show them, how to put together a match. They're the ones that are teaching those young kids to be WWE sports entertainers. They need to go back to being wrestlers first and then build entertainment into it.
Well, can't really argue with that argument.
Oh, of course you can't argue, because what I'm saying is the truth. We know people that have been down to Florida Championship Wrestling for tryouts and whatnot, and they'll sit there and they'll say, yeah, I was there for 3 days. I just watched guys do moonsaults on the crash mats. They don't do a whole lot down there.
The argument has long been that all they do is promo school, and they don't focus on the in-ring abilities. It seems like we're talking.
I still am a firm believer that if someone's going to teach you how to become a wrestler, they should at least have drawn some money to begin with, so they know what is needed. I'm not saying Billy Kidman isn't a great star. I'm not saying Steve Keirn wasn't a big-time star. But wouldn't you rather have somebody that has been to the main events, that has been to the top of the mountain and seen how good it is to teach these guys how to get over? When did Billy Kidman ever get over? No knock on Billy Kidman. I mean, yeah, he was married to Tori Wilson, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, look who's teaching these kids.
But also, let's look at the fact that there are many great teachers out there who were never at the pinnacle of the business either.
The wrestling business today is different than it was in the 80s.
True, very true.
You are not given 6 months to build a storyline or a character. You're given 3 weeks in between each pay-per-view.
Sometimes 3 minutes.
Exactly.
Well, we'll continue to follow the story. The way it broke, by the way, was FCW or whoever notified the Bright House TV network down in Florida that the show would be ending, the television show, and that's how the story broke. But we'll continue to follow the story, and maybe we'll have to go over to Tampa and do some in-depth investigative reporting when we're down in Florida next week.
So now you want to play Dragnet.
MathNet
We
is
have way
actually
too much
better.
stuff to do down there. When are we going to have time?
Linda has it all under control.
Oh, of course. She'll be
There are
too
no
busy
worries.
doing the thong song with Rikishi at the Shenanigans party.
It's this week's edition of the Pro Wrestling Report 5. Want to remind you to tune in to all of our programming next week. WrestleMania special all week long, only at pwrshow.com. We are awarding our most loyal fans who visit us at our website, pwrshow.com, just like we did for the Royal Rumble. We'll have WrestleMania flashbacks all day long, WrestleMania Sunday, and Be the Booker, a marathon of Be the Booker episodes all week long. That is next week, leading up to WrestleMania 28 in Miami.
I'm doing the math. There's not enough days next week to get all this stuff in.
Don't forget to get your tickets for the Shenanigans Beach Party as well. Several great names announced, as we talked about, added on primetime.
You know, we've gone way over 5 minutes here.
We're done. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. We'll see you Monday night on The Meltdown.